Episode 7. Welcome back to the Saxcast presented by Bucko Banter. As always, I'm Adam. I got Scott to my left. And as always, joined by the man in the middle, Saxboy Billy. Fellas, what is happening?
Sax. Gentlemen, this is exciting. We are coming off our biggest episode yet. Pretty unbelievable once you think of it. You look at those YouTube numbers. And the people are enjoying it, man. We're having a lot of fun, man. I'm having so much fun doing this. And it's only episode 7, so we're gonna keep on rolling. And congrats to Bucko Banner, by the way. If you're not heading over to Bucko Banner for everything Pirates baseball, they just hit episode 100, and they were just monetized. They got ads on their podcast. I started listening to it. They got slapped with like "Hey, idiot, go bet online for sports." And I was so happy and proud of these guys. I'm like, look at that. They have these horrible ads on their show now. So congratulations.
Thanks, man. We officially sold out.
So proud.
It's great. No, we're super proud of the episode 100. We had a great episode with all the Pirates insiders and content creators the other day. And excited for more. But listen, episode 7 is nothing to sneeze at because the average podcast,
we're almost there, right?
7 episodes.
Yeah,
we need to get to next week.
So as long as we can make it through this one, and then on to next week, nothing terrible happens. We're on our way to 100, boys. But how's everyone's weeks going? I mean, I'm already off to a bad start, and everything's fine. I just bit my tongue earlier today, and it's like at the tip of my tongue where like weird words are hard to pronunciate, or it just like hits at like the wrong moment, where I'm just like Sammy Sprinkler all day. And it's just been brutal.
Weird words are hard to pronunciate. That's good. We should get just a list of Mongolian words.
I was
hundreds of thousands of views.
I was thinking about that because I was like, man, I'm gonna be screwed in the Mongolian minute if I have to pronunciate anything. It's gonna be tough. But how's everything going with you, Scotty? Anything new this week?
Man, I feel like it's just nonstop busy. Baseball season's here, so it's
If you guys don't know, these guys are recording preview pods for every single baseball team, which is insane. There's 30 teams, and it's like these guys are on top of their normal jobs, on top of them doing Bucko Banner, on top of doing this crap with me, which is just the dumbest thing in their life. They're doing all this stuff, so they're working hard, and the weather's turning in Pittsburgh. You're missing it.
It is.
You guys are
something I wanted to talk about.
Like nerds.
In fact,
this is this podcast is a release for me because I feel like we could just like kind of be ourselves and not like really, we can just kind of come on.
You can let your hair down, except that we all wear hats.
Right.
My hair, I don't want to let it down. It's just, it gets all messy and stuff. So it's hard to keep up. But no, guys, I'm excited. Episode 7. And, we'll get through this next week and get to episode 8. But the weather is turning in Pittsburgh. Spring is on the way. Baseball's coming. We've got a lot to talk about.
I just want to say something real quick. So, I've always had really bad panic and anxiety, and I've never messed with caffeine because I always thought it elevated my anxiety levels.
Right.
And in sobriety, I've dove back in. And I started at age 35, drinking caffeine. I know it's crazy.
Ooh, I can't.
But then it's
man.
The addict brain in me now is working at coffee shops. I totally get it now. They're like daytime bars, basically.
Yeah.
There's
coffee shops that you're going to? Anything in Pittsburgh you want to shout out?
Wait, what?
Any coffee shops that you're frequenting?
Oh, there's a couple. There's Inkwell in Lawrenceville I go to. Anchor in the Anvil. I go to Commonwealth. I go to
Commonplace, right?
Commonplace.
You gotta come to the Strip. There's so many places.
Yeah, DeFair, whatever. I saw Matt Capps once. But here's what I'll do. I invested in a laptop, so I'll go to a coffee shop. I'll drink a cup of coffee. I'll be editing. And then I'll just walk 3 miles to Inkwell, down the street, and then I'll drink another coffee and I'll edit some more. And then I'll walk another 3 miles to another coffee shop. And it's I totally am addiction shifting to caffeine. I'm yeah.
I love it. Caffeine's great, dude. My favorite coffee shop is in the Strip District. It's Allegheny Coffee and Tea Exchange. You cannot sit down in there, but it is the most. It's very you go in. There's you can select your own beans, but like the lines like gets you in and out. But it's like such a good feel. The people are so nice. Bucko Banter fans in there, which is awesome.
Wow.
And it's honestly incredible. Go check it out. But yeah, you can't sit in there. But definitely like a solid spot to get coffee. But I drink so much caffeine, like I'm convinced I just don't feel it. I just need it to like survive to the next day.
Dude, I'm learning like how to like, because it's like legitimately my first time doing it. I'm like learning how to like pace myself because I'm just sitting there just like.
What's your coffee order, Sax? I'm curious.
Oh, it's just drip coffee with cream and 2 sugars.
See, I don't want to. I like my coffee black. I like espresso more than anything. I'll get a double espresso shot.
I'll do for my second coffee. I'll do just the coffee with a little bit of cream.
Okay.
And yeah, people is like drip coffee not cool. I don't even like.
No, it's great.
This is the cheapest option. It's literally like how I drink. Like I drink to feel the effects of alcohol. I'm drinking coffee to like get all focused up and stuff. But yeah, also it's just been a crazy just walking around Pittsburgh, and I have live dates coming up now.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
4 live dates coming up in March, which I'm so excited about. I'm going to Johnstown, I'm going to Greensburg, and then I'm doing a big show at Bottle Rocket in Pittsburgh, which is exciting.
Ooh.
So
wait, weren't we just talking about Bottle Rocket?
We just talked about it with somebody.
Los Santos.
Yes.
Well, your boy Sax is gonna be.
We gotta
doing
go.
This song and dance thing.
I've heard it's a cool place.
So I did live performance in New York for about 7 years, and I stopped for about 9 years. But I've just been picking it back up again, and I freaking love it. And again, it's like I thought the comedy was gonna fall off. The live performance, it was like riding a bike again. It was like, man, I have so much fun doing it. So there's going to be a lot of traveling coming up, and that's how I'm going to do a lot of these trips. I'll just schedule trips around a show, and the show will help offset the costs. So it'll be awesome, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll talk about that more as we get along here.
Sure.
Well, just to shout out the night in Johnstown, I believe
2 nights.
Is 2 nights, March 7th and 8th. Doors open at 6:30, start at 7 at the Creative Corner & Co. So
here's the story behind this, right? So when I was just wandering around Johnstown, I'll just wander around and explore. I went to this coffee shop, and immediately they started reading I guess they call it like an aura card or something. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then I just started meeting this group of ladies. It's like this collective of people. And I just kind of friended them online, and they all watched all my Johnstown videos. And now I'm going back to Johnstown, and I'm doing 2 shows. It's a 30-seat place for 2 nights with these just people I just randomly met walking around Johnstown. So it's all like the universe, man. It's all coming together. So definitely come to that.
I'm excited. We were talking about this the other day with one of our friends that we either have to take a trip out to Johnstown or Bottle Rocket.
Well, it's going to be fun to have you guys in the front row of Bottle Rocket because I can eviscerate you with crowd work.
Yeah.
Look at these goofy looking asses.
Were your plants in the crowd?
Just give them Mongolian words to say.
I'm going to draw the line at Italian American discrimination. I know you're going to go that route with me.
That's so funny. But yeah, no, you guys, I'm sure this show in the future we'll be doing something live, but yeah, I'm stoked as we build the audience again. Like, just awesome to see it grow and grow with people listening. And so, yeah, excellent.
Well, we have an exciting guest that we're going to bring on shortly. Let's kind of preview that. I think one of the things that we're trying to do on this show is just kind of preview all bits of the world. We've kind of found a little niche with the Mongolian Minute, right? I love it. I know Scott loves it. Everyone in Mongolia loves it, apparently. On doing that. But we want to showcase different parts of the world, and not like New York City, Los Angeles, all these big metro areas.
No coastal elitists.
Yeah.
Nope.
We want like the nitty gritty places, like the places that people don't really talk about that often, but there's a lot to showcase, and you don't have to be someone famous. You don't have to be someone with a ton of followers. You don't have to be very showy, but we want to learn more about where our followers come from and like the things to do. A lot of this show is based on Saxboy's travels around the country and potentially the world. So what better way to showcase different areas to go to, not only for us, but our fans as well. So if you're listening from well, obviously Mongolia, but anywhere else.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that's like 95% of the listeners right now. That aside, anywhere else, it could be anywhere in the United States, Canada, Mexico, wherever it may be. Let us know. Send us a DM of somewhere interesting, and maybe we'll be able to preview you on the show. So we're gonna
give a tease.
Yeah,
that's coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got someone coming in from Brazil. A pirate, a guy who moved to Pittsburgh for college, didn't know anything about baseball, learned about baseball, and then became a ginormous Pirates fan to the point where he's going down to spring training.
Really? Do you know when
this guy? I met him in New York on the subway. He was like, "Saxboy." I don't know if that's, and it was like, this guy is awesome. So there's so much good stuff coming up, man. So yeah, let us know where you are. We want to talk to you. Excellent.
Awesome. I'm excited. We're going to take a short break, and then we will be back with our guests.
Guys, I am excited. This is our second guest, and the universe we're creating here is just, I love it so much, because last week we had the Tom Brady of Mongolian football, American football, coming on. And this week we have one of the OG people I connected with on Instagram, and we've just formed this like weird friendship of like, he shared me videos. I'm like giving him notes. We're talking about things. And it's just so funny. This is Ty Mitchell, everybody, coming to us from the Winnipeg. From the what's Winnipeg's nickname? The
Peg. The Peg.
Yeah, the Peg. Yeah, people from Winnipeg are peggers.
I was gonna say, you said it, not me. Okay.
Yeah, so you can be Peggian, I guess. I don't know. I've never heard anybody say it like that.
Well, do you know what people from Pittsburgh are called, Ty?
Oh, well, it's not Pittsburghers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, there's no way it could be the one.
It's Pittsburghers or Yinzers.
Yes. So that was the one that I didn't know before. And when I saw the hashtag Yinzer and I started following it around through the Saxboy Billy account, I was like, okay, so this is like a neighborhood thing. And now I feel like I'm an honorary Yinzer because I pay so much attention to what happens in Pittsburgh just based on our friendship.
I love the internet so much.
It's so
like
crazy.
Vice versa. Like, I know a lot about like Winnipeg real estate.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it. So I'm in real estate, and I actually got shared the video of the dorm room for adults. Dorm room for adults.
Yeah.
So the condo's
banger.
Banger, total banger, millions of views. Like, it's just epic. We can all agree there. And I saw this thing. I shared it with my wife. My wife actually cracked a smile, and I was on the radio for 16 years and my wife never laughed at a single thing that I did. So the fact that she cracked a smile, I was like, okay, Saxboy, this guy is kind of cool. So then I dig back, and the video that made me just die laughing, like literally, like I was like, okay, I want to be friends with this guy because this is like my kind of humor. This is my brand on brand. When you're doing the local neighborhood Italian festival.
Right? Oh my God, that's amazing.
The Italian street festival, and he's dancing, right? But the line that got me was the Nonas strangling alligators like in the old country. And I just was like, that is so irreverent because there are zero alligators. Now, I've only been to Italy once and it was for like 72 hours, but I did not see or hear of any alligators. It does not exist.
No alligators.
No gators. It's a place where there's a zero chance of running into gators, and Nona's strangling them. And it's the AI granny who then he busts into the get the Nona her THC with another picture of an old Italian biddy just like huffing on a giant Snoopaloop-sized doober.
Hey, doobing up in the pegger, eh?
Oh, man. Crushing doobs, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, right.
I'm sure there's a lot of Italian grandmas up in the pegger. But
so
yeah,
my office where I'm at right now is it's in a neighborhood, Little Italy. It's called Cordon Avenue. And yeah, this is like, I'm in the heart of the Nonas right now. Like there might be one kicking through my door. Yeah, hearing me talking smack.
Oh, okay, nice.
Scott's Italian.
I am. Yeah. I love hearing that. Ty, I got to ask you real quick. I'm going to change the subject. We can go back to Winnipeg and all that. We just had a hockey tournament, the Four Nations. Yes. Let's talk about this real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Canada versus US. Like, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so as a big hockey guy, I grew up playing hockey from the time I was 5 years old.
Huge with hockey, buddy.
Huge hockey.
Yeah.
Like
I can tell the Jets.
I mean, I showed up wearing my Jets jersey.
I was in Johnstown at the hockey game. He's like telling me his buddy used to play for the team.
Yeah, seriously. Like I know guys that played in that Bush League, like for sure. I had a
cousin, go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, so really, like, as far as this hockey game goes, you have two of the biggest powerhouses. I think it could have just been the Two Nations Cup. I think it was cute that Sweden and Finland were there, but this tournament was only coming down to two teams. And we knew that the way that the first game went, where, you know, the animosity built up, the Tkachuk brothers dropping the mitts early on in the game. You got Brendan Hagel, who's like a pretty much the no-namest guy on the team, dropping the mitts with 2 seconds into the game. And we're all going like, who is this guy? Why is he on the team? But damn, let's go, right? So you had an entire nation here just rallying behind this hockey team, and almost felt like Canada was the underdog going into it, just because I get to watch Connor Hellebuck as a goaltender night in, night out with the Winnipeg Jets, and I know he is the best goalie on the planet. Like, there is no question that he is the best goalie. So that's why I was incredibly nervous as a Canadian hockey fan, especially going into overtime where Connor Hellebuck is so incredibly clutch, that I was nervous when that goal went in. I remember vividly the 2010 golden goal at the Olympics. I remember 2002. I remember Wayne Gretzky sitting on the bench in Nagano in 98, and just like the culmination of what's going on in the world right now too, with, you know, the tariffs being imposed, and, you know, some animosity with, you know, borders, and we share a border. I mean, there's no denying that we share the longest independent border and have probably had one of the best international relationships until like 3 weeks ago, you know, and then it's like, okay, but all of a sudden, just in time for the hockey tournament, in true patriot fashion, you have these two countries that are like kind of like not even really at odds. I think there's one person that's at odds, but like,
yeah, right.
You know, right?
It's one person.
We can agree. Yeah. So there's like one person creating friction here, but like at the same time, you get so much national pride in Canada that I actually hadn't felt out of a lot of people in a long time, because we're just kind of casual. We're waiting for an election up here too. Like, there's a lot of people unhappy with leadership in this country too. I thought it was interesting that the prime minister finally sacked up for the first time in this entire back and forth between the two leaders. And he actually put out a tweet. I believe it was. He put out a tweet that says, you know, you can't take our country and you can't take our game.
Oh, I was going to say, did he do like one of those mayor's bets?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna mow the lawn of the White House.
We're the 51st state.
What do you think of this, Ty? What do you think of this?
Yeah.
U.S., since Canada won, should become the 11th province of Canada.
11th province, but so there's 10 provinces and then 3 territories now. When I was growing up and learning the system, we only had two territories. Now there are 3.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so you've got Nunavut. Have you heard of Nunavut?
It's like up north, right?
Northeastern Territories.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. Baffin Island.
Don't tell me the last one. Don't tell me the last one. Give me the first letter.
Okay. There's Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and
give me the first letter.
What does Yinzer start with?
Oh, Yukon.
Yeah, Yukon Territory.
That'll
Now,
be
I've
right.
never been there. I've been all
the
across
first
the
letter.
West, but I had not been to the Yukon Territory. I know a couple guys that played hockey up there, as you can imagine. There was a team up there called the Yukon Claim Jumpers. And apparently, like, it was just bush league. Like, these guys would hop on a bus and ride from Whitehorse, Yukon. Their closest road game was in Dawson Creek, which is all the way down the Alaska Highway. Like, it's basically Alaska Highway starts, I think, in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, goes all the way up. And I mean, I think Whitehorse is probably the halfway point. So, you know, 30 hours.
It just
on
sounds like an endeavor that's just like losing money.
Oh yeah, the teams, they make $0.
But let's talk a little bit, because you're in Winnipeg, and a lot of people say that Hamilton is like the Pittsburgh of Canada.
Yes.
I don't know if Scott and Adam know that.
I remember passing Hamilton.
Tried by it on the way to Toronto.
Yeah.
The old steel, it's like an old steel thing, but in a lot of ways too, like Winnipeg is very, very similar. I feel like how big is Winnipeg? Like a little over 1 million people?
So the greater Winnipeg area would be, 850. And then the whole province of Manitoba, I think, is 1.112. Fact check me on that one, but it's low 1 point somethings. And so the bulk of the mass of people is in Winnipeg. And Winnipeg used to be a city that took 15 minutes to drive across. You've got 2 rivers here. So we have the confluence of the Red River and the Assiniboine River. So you've got 3 rivers. You have us by
Monongahela, Allegheny. Yeah. What's this called? City Boy? City Boy River?
Assiniboine.
Okay. Cinnabon?
City Boy.
The Cinnabon River.
Yeah.
It's sponsored now. It used to have a name, but then now it's sponsored by Cinnabon. They got their name on it. And
corporation.
Goddamn capitalism. Oh my God.
Is
So
it
I gotta
like
tell you,
Pittsburgh, where like, did you grow up like like in Pittsburgh, we're kind of separated from we're a river town, but we're kind of a little separated from the rivers. Did you grow up like going on boats on the rivers or anything like that?
Well, our rivers look a little more like, like you've eaten some bad Mongolian food truck food. Like
You're
they're
about
a
to get
mud,
the comments route up.
they're a
Momo
mud
King.
bottom. It is a mud bottom, chocolate milk looking river.
Okay.
I've heard that like if you don't want to end up in the river. I've been into the Red River once. I worked at a place called the Red Boyne Boating Club. Great name, right? Confluence of the Red and the Assiniboine. So the Red Boyne Boating Club. I worked at a marina. And there was this guy who was trying to tie up his boat. And I think he had too many cocktails. And he was like, help me out, kid. And he like threw me this rope and I fell off the dock to like try and grab this guy's boat. But like I cared so much about the job at 16 years old that I actually like kept swimming the boat into shore and like tied him up and was mooring this boat up. And
That's
I
a
was
hockey
covered in
guy.
the river water. Yeah. And that was it. I'm a team player. So basically just went up to the clubhouse, like dried off my clothes for 15, 20 minutes. And I was right back out there in the sunshine.
Well, because in Pittsburgh, one of our rivers is cleaner than the other one, right? Like the Monongahela is well known.
How does that
grew up
work?
on the
How is one
I'm the
better
river
than the
rat.
other?
If you look
I
at an
believe-
air,
Yeah. The Monongahela is mud based, I believe. So from above, it's like very murky brown, kind of similar to what you're describing, right?
So-
And then the other one is clean.
not clean.
Okay.
I've been in it many times.
Yeah, and
Steel
it's
City
taken
River
years off
clean.
his life. Yeah. So the Ohio, I don't really have much knowledge about. It starts with Ohio, so I just kind of throw it out the window. But Monongahela, Allegheny, the Allegheny River is the one that goes along where the Steelers play and where the Pirates play. That's the clean one. Although, like a year ago, they pulled like 50 some cars out of it, which is confusing because there's no road that goes like right along it on the north side. So
50 cars, but how many bodies? Because that's kind of where we're gonna like go
Oh,
back and
yeah.
forth here. Because we got a lot of
Ooh.
bodies turning up here.
yeah, I don't know. I think there's the occasional body here in
Yeah.
Allegheny
A couple
County.
floaters.
Yeah,
What's
there's
kind of
some
like
floaters.
what's Winnipeg's like kind of like when a couple floaters might get what's the thing like when there's a national hockey game, like there's a national like football game, and they have the cuts in between the periods of like the local food, and they always show Permanis. Like, what is it for Winnipeg?
So the local food here. So a couple of things. The Nanaimo bar. No, I'm kidding. That's Nanaimo, BC. So we have the
Is that a Canada
pierogi.
joke?
That was a Canada joke. Are you? It was a Canada. Are you not?
Why do you
familiar
guys laugh at that? That was like, sorry, go ahead.
with the Nanaimo? Do you know the Nanaimo bar?
Nope.
I don't.
Oh, wow. Okay. So about to blow your mind here real quick. It's like a cookie crumble bottom. It's got like a custardy paste. And then it's got like a chocolatey, like a dark chocolate thick top to it. Anyway, this is a national treasure in Canada. Google the Nanaimo bar. It's from Nanaimo, BC, which is why it's called the Nanaimo bar. Anyway, I'm in Winnipeg, clearly not in Nanaimo. So I just figured I would derail this thing completely by saying Nanaimo and
Good
confuse
old-fashioned
everybody.
derail. Canada
Yeah,
derail.
yeah, exactly.
Go.
Well, we got a lot of trains running through here too. So, so in Winnipeg, a couple of things that people love here. Honey dill sauce. So
Ooh.
honey dill sauce. Yeah. Imagine that combination, honey and dill. Now it's like, I took some pictures of it and I'm going to send them to you on Instagram. So you have to see these. So it's honey and dill, and it's used as a dipping sauce. It can be used as a mixture in like a mashed potato as well. People put it on eggs. Some people will put it on.
So
a
they
sandwich.
on the TV show they just show someone dipping like a carrot stick into a sauce.
Well, I mean, if it's a Jets game, they're showing somebody eating the giant 18-inch jumbo jet dog. They always zoom in on somebody that's like just like scarfing one down in the walkway. It's like he's got
RG3 with his croissant.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Are
so
these them?
yes, those
Ty?
are those
Those
are
look
them.
good.
Those
Yes.
look great. Okay, I just needed to pull it up for reference here.
Yeah.
Nice
those
job,
look
Adam.
incredible. Yeah.
Wood.
By the way, do you know what a pierogi is?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
okay.
like
Okay.
our culture.
Okay, same. So there you
Yeah.
go. Here's the connection here. So there's a big Ukrainian contingent here. So like any of that stuff, like cabbage rolls, which if you describe these to like many people, they're like, what? Like you take a piece of cabbage and dunk it in like pizza sauce and just like color it a day, put some ground beef in there. It's like, okay.
Well,
So-
did you know that during the Pittsburgh Pirates games, they have what's called the Great Pittsburgh Pierogi Race?
During the
literally
game?
have anamorphic. Is that what it's called?
Yes, no, it is.
Yeah, go ahead, Adam. You do your thing and show.
Keep talking.
But this is like, yeah, these are legendary pierogi mascots that go to people's weddings, and it's like
they're local here. They're like local mascots, like they're icons.
Oh, they're icons.
Oh,
yeah.
And Jalapeno Hannah, like we all have a crush on her.
They have names, of course. They've built mini characters of these pierogies.
It's just, of all the things to ask us as Pirates fans, the pierogi. It's just so funny that would be it, because
that is spot
during
on.
during the middle of the 6th inning, all of Pittsburgh just focuses on a bunch of racing pierogies.
In Buffalo, I went to a Buffalo Bisons game, which is the AAA team. Okay, wow, there's Hannah. There's Jalapeno Hannah.
There you go.
Her big hoops. Oh my god.
Yeah,
they're doing the classic, like Oliver Onion's like the classic nerd with he's got the glasses.
He looks like it. Onion breath.
Yeah. And then you got Jalapeno Hannah, which is the fan favorite. I mean, she's just gorgeous. Look at her.
Do we know the people, like, do we know the people in the pierogi costumes?
There are no people. They're pierogies.
They're just okay.
These are the lucky interns of the day that get to suit up. Yeah.
No, what I was getting at is, like, have you ever had the opportunity to don these? Like, do they go around the stands and just find a fan who are like, hey, are you a group of 4 buddies that have had like too many Bud Lattes in the sun? Come on down here, throw on Jalapeno
Ty,
Hannah
you're
tonight.
preaching to the choir. I would love to get inside of one of these bad boys.
Ty, you have no idea what that question, how big of a yes, absolutely, like that is like an absolute god.
Oh man,
like,
that's
so
awesome.
In Buffalo, they do the chicken wing, they do a drumstick, they do a celery stick, and I think they do ranch and blue cheese. And they run the bases, right? Like it's like the similar type of thing. It's like the 4 presidents at the Washington Nationals game or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I love that they do that. We have a baseball team called the Gold Eyes.
Fashion fun.
I saw that. Yeah, the Gold Eyes.
Yeah,
it's an independent league.
Are you a Blue Bombers fan?
Yeah. I actually worked for the Bombers for 1 year. In 2013, it was their first year at the brand new stadium. So they spent all this taxpayer money, 3 layers of government, just controversial. It's on the university site, sacred ground. And they end up building this stadium, like just this monstrosity with these girders and like quite fancy. Like it looked good, a little bit over budget, whatever. We got the place filled on opening night. I was the first season's in-game host. Now that year,
no way. You were on the Jumbotron like, hey, Bombers fans.
Exactly. Hey, Bombers fans, join me in the Bomber store to buy this sweater that's on sale tonight for $59.99. Some guy comes up and like flips you off in the background, runs off into the crowd, and you're like, oh, hey, did that just happen? So I did that for one season. I did the in-game hosting there. The team only won 1 game at home at the time we're playing they play an 18-game schedule. So they won 1 out of their 9 games at home. Like I was getting booed on, like I'd be walking around the crowd and people are like, boo, F you, man. I'm like, dude, I'm like wearing a Bomber shirt. I'm like, I don't play for the team, dude. Like at the time I was working in radio and I was like, oh man, all these people hate me. I'm like, what the hell? Like I have nothing to do with this team and they're losing skid.
Well, that's a good transition, Ty, because off air we were talking about your start in radio, and why don't you tell our listeners a little bit more about like yourself, like where did you get your start and what you're doing now? Yeah,
so full Cole's Notes version of this. I basically started off, grew up in Winnipeg, did all my school here. I ended up playing junior hockey, did the classic Canadian dream, and just lived out of my suitcase for the better part of a couple years. In my latter teens, lived at billet houses.
Did your equipment just stink?
Oh man, you know what? I might be one of the lucky ones. I guess it's all about your diet too, and like what's coming out of you. So like, I definitely remember a couple of seasons after I turned legal drinking age, where like, the gear smelt a little bit worse, but like, as now I've aged, my gear doesn't smell as bad, but I still play hockey. Like I was lucky. I got to play a little bit, after that high school age. And then I moved out to the mountains. I was in BC. I worked at a ski hill for a year. And then I went out to the Vancouver Island area. Like, do you know where Victoria is?
Yeah.
Yep. So Vancouver Island, did some carpentry out there, built some houses. And then I reconnected with my dad when I was like 21 years old. And my dad worked in radio. He was on the radio across Canada for a lot of years. And I was raised by just my mom. So like, I didn't really know him much growing up. And so he got sick with cancer. So we went for a cross country road trip. To which I got to meet all his old radio buddies. And I got to this city called Calgary, which is in Alberta. And I went in and basically like my dad introduced me to this guy who introduced me to this other guy. And all of a sudden I like spent a day in radio and I went around with this guy named Jerry Forbes. He's like this morning superstar. And we went to the Keg and people knew who he was, which Keg is like a Canadian steakhouse. And so like I went into the Keg and people knew who he was. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like what is this all about? So I met this dude and he said like, hey, why don't you get into this? And so literally I made up a demo tape. I put together 10 CDs because I was super broke. I put together 10 CDs. I got 4 callbacks and I took a job in a place called Lindsay, Ontario. I started off at a 91.9 Bob FM, like a classic hits, adult hits station, just fake it till you make it, man. I didn't go to like any broadcast college or anything like that. Maybe had it in my genes a little bit, but like, again, I didn't grow up with my dad. I didn't like grow up in radio stations that much. So I just ended up like trying really hard and put myself out there and ended up, you know, kind of working my way across the country. I went from Lindsay to Peterborough, Ontario, where I met my wife in 2009. We're still together, got 2 beautiful kids. Then we moved out to BC. So I went and ran stations in Nelson, Castlegar, and Trail, British Columbia.
What the hell?
Then I got promoted to Kelowna after 8 months. I was in Kelowna, BC. Then I got my dream job, an opportunity to come back to Winnipeg and work at Power 97. Get fired there as the station changes formats, go out west to Kamloops, BC, and then just like had a great time working at a country radio station. Then I end up close to Hamilton in Niagara region, working at a station there.
This is like the career that like just no longer exists. This is like,
I know, it's wild, right?
I met my dad took me to the radio station. I met old Johnny Joe, and then I went to Kelowna, and
I know, like, dude, I got my last job. My wife told me,
bro.
she's like, we're never moving again. So she's like, if we go back to Winnipeg, you're going to find something. I don't care if it's working at Canadian Tire. Like, she's like, you're going to find a job that just keeps us here. We're not moving anymore. And I had a couple opportunities to move on, but we opted to stay here, and I got my real estate license. So I had a little bit of a history in building houses, like in my early 20s, had renovated a house, sold a house. So I kind of felt like, you know, this might be the career path for me. Love people, love getting out, love my city, love selling my city to new people.
This guy loves Winnipeg.
I love Winnipeg. No, I honestly do. Like, you see how many places I've lived, dude, right? I've been able to judge like other towns along the way and be like, no, you know what? It's cold. We got a bad rap. It can be a little dangerous in spots.
What I feel about Pittsburgh is like, you know, it's like there's this outside perception of what it is. I'm sure it's the same with Winnipeg. Totally. It's totally not that once you're here. And yeah, so I felt such a kinship to the content. And we'll throw we'll make sure that everybody, if you're buying real estate in Winnipeg, talk to Ty.
Well, and you know what the great thing about it is, I'm with a brokerage that's international. So I'm with a company called Real Broker now. So as far as referral network goes, like, I got people everywhere, like all across, you know, the United States, all 50 states. So
how about Mongolia?
Now, Mongolia, we're working on. If I could be the first real agent in
like
Mongolia, that'd be sick.
Well,
I love
Ty,
it,
dude. We gotta have you back, bro. Absolute. I just want to say thank you, like, sincerely for like being this early supporter, man. And I just wanted to get you kind of in the mix of, you know, have you meet these guys. These 2 are my partners here, and yeah, we'll definitely be keeping up with each other, and we'll definitely have you back. And good to see you, brother.
Real quick, before we let you go, Ty, we're gonna fly through this. But
right. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If you're just listening, I suggest you go over to YouTube for these photos because I think it's worth your time. Ty, yes. What am I looking at here?
Okay, so what I've done, I compiled all of the roadside attractions in Manitoba. So there was a push in the 70s to keep people and tourism within the province of Manitoba. So all these towns, every single small town outside of Winnipeg had to put up some form of a statue, monument, a reason to go.
It was mandated by the government to put up a statue.
Look, maybe there was an option, maybe there wasn't. Like, awesome. How I understood it was like, somebody just said Tourism Manitoba was like, here's what we got to do. So let's make some roadside attractions. So first up here, you see in Transcona, Manitoba. Transcona is actually, it used to be a separate entity from Winnipeg. Now it's just part of the city. It's within the perimeter. It's within the city limits. Transcona is basically a neighborhood in Winnipeg now. But every year in June, they have the High Neighbor Festival. And it's simply High Neighbor Sam, who was their ambassador.
It's a white guy with the top hat.
It's a white guy with a top hat with the top hat that says High Neighbor on it. And literally there's a whole festival called High Neighbor Festival where you just walk around the streets and say, hi neighbor, hi neighbor.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Hi,
this
I
neighbor.
used to work for Narragansett Brewery, and that was their slogan, "Hi neighbor."
They
That's
stole it.
crazy.
High
From
neighbor.
Transcona.
Okay. I
What's
was gonna
the
say
next
this looks
one?
like I was gonna say this looks like Pinocchio met Chapel Roan and made a baby.
It
If
does
you don't
kinda
get the
have
reference,
Chapel
look it
Roan
up.
vibes.
Red kidney bean. What is this?
Okay, so we have in southern Manitoba some of the most fertile soil along the banks of the Red River. So the Red River Valley, well known across globally for its production of les haricots, beans. So this is Beantown. Eat your heart out, Boston. I'm bringing you the red kidney bean, the gigantic Beantown red kidney bean of Saint-Joseph, Manitoba, le village des haricots secs.
Oh, that's incredible.
What?
Love
There's like, wow, I love it with the French thing there.
Beantown, incredible.
Yeah.
All right. It only gets more
Oh my
interesting.
gosh. Yeah. So we're going to take a trip out to Western Manitoba now, and I'm going to introduce you to the banana belt of Manitoba. I bet you did not think when you were talking to a guy from the prairies where it was just minus 40 a week ago, you would not believe, but the banana growing in Melita, Manitoba. So this has spawned Sunny the banana and Breezy the blue jay. This is actually one of the most visited sites in all of Manitoba. People drive 2.5 hours outside the city when they come here to tour. Now, not many people come here to tour. We're talking like 3 or 4 a year, but they all stop at Sunny the banana and Breezy the blue jay in Melita.
Wait, do they grow like bananas like indoors or something?
Yeah, I think there's like one guy that grows like
one guy who's got like a shed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unbelievable.
And last but not least,
Arberg, baby. Okay, so this is the world's largest curling rock. It could be verified. There might be a larger one in Warroad, Minnesota. I'm not entirely sure, but
Oh my God.
They have dubbed this the world's largest curling rock in Arberg, Manitoba. So this is only about 90 minutes north of Winnipeg. And this is a sight to behold. It's got a gigantic red handle. This thing, picture like, well, we know what a curling rock looks like. It's granite. It's like a gigantic orb looking thing. This one is about the size of a 1956 Pontiac Parisienne.
ooh,
Yep, I know what that looks like.
this is large. For what it's worth, I looked up world's largest curling rock, and
What about the one in Minnesota?
The internet confirmed this one right away.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
that's the extent of my digging right there. It's #1 in my book. These are awesome, Ty. We
That's
appreciate
just so
this.
70s. Like, hey, we need people
Yeah.
to come visit these towns. Like, let's
Yep.
just build a bunch of monuments. We have that in Western PA too. We have the ship on Route 30. We got, I don't know.
Okay, what's the King of Prussia in Pennsylvania? Do you know this?
It's the mall, the King of Prussia Mall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yo, yeah, there's I think they had some sort of a I don't know. That's the eastern side. That's the other side of the state.
Yeah.
We're
Philadelphia,
Western
yeah.
boys.
Yeah, but that's uncharted territory for you guys.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
That's the bad side of the state.
So what's the dividing line? Is it like what is the town in the middle
Depends.
that kind of separates the two?
Harrisburg, maybe.
Harrisburg's more Philly, though. I
Harrisburg's
mean,
more-
like if you're really splitting it down the
It's
middle,
like
it's like Bedford, Happy
Bedford.
Valley, where Penn
Yeah.
State is, and then everything in between is like there's not much, and then there's Philly and
In the middle of
Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania is like Alabama. Like it's very rural and
I drove through Scranton one
Fantastic.
time.
okay.
Yeah,
that's north.
the Electric
northeast.
City.
It was very electric, and it was at 3 a.m. after my flight got canceled from Toronto to New York City. But I was not missing the opportunity to get to NYC, so we just straight up drove it off, like right through upstate New York, Finger Lakes area, and then you kind of drop down and just come right down into Scranton, Vegas.
Oh yeah,
My man.
absolutely. Well, Ty, we appreciate you
guys.
jumping
Oh,
on
thank
here,
you
man.
guys, man.
This was a blast, and we'll definitely have you on again to talk more Winnipeg. I'm sure there's a whole world that we haven't explored yet, but
Oh, gosh.
until next time, man, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
See you, bro.
Cheers.
Thanks, Ty.
All right, boys. Fun interview with Ty from Winnipeg. We're exploring all the whole world here on the Saxcast. But let's talk about Pittsburgh real quick. Let's bring it back. We have this segment where we talk about current events in Pittsburgh. I've talked about the new landing that's going downtown and the Market Square renovations. But I'm going to talk about another article that came out this week, the 2024 Pittsburgher of the Year. And I brought this up just because I know Sax has a connection to the Pittsburgh Airport, International Airport. So the Pittsburgher of the Year is Christina Sotis, I think I'm pronouncing that right. She's the CEO of the Allegheny County Airport Authority since 2014. So she's been there for about 11 years. Yeah, man, she's, I mean, as we know, there's renovations going on at the Pittsburgh International Airport. And she's been overseeing that for the past decade. We know when I grew up, Pittsburgh International Airport was a hub. It was a hub from like 1992 to 2004-ish. I remember my dad and my family had big U.S. Airways points. U.S. Airways airlines that just collapsed in the middle of the 2000s. And then 2004, they, I think it was like 12 or so years, they weren't a hub anymore. But she came in about a decade after that and knew that the airport needed to move forward. In her 10 years since, they've increased the number of nonstop destinations from 36 to 61. I think that's monthly. I think that's monthly. Mm-hmm. Attracted new airlines, brought back nonstop international routes. We know there's been nonstop from Pittsburgh to London. Pittsburgh
took that one. Yeah.
Reykjavik.
Good play.
Increased annual passenger traffic. And now recently, there's a new $1.57 billion landside terminal project that was funded without taxpayer money, which is something we love to see as a public citizen here in Pittsburgh or any city. And it's scheduled to open later in 2025. So the Pittsburgh Airport's going under big renovations, and I'm really excited for it. Pittsburgh Airport's, and maybe I'm biased, is one of my favorite airports in the country. And it's only going to get better here with this new landside terminal. So that's the article today. Check it out. It's on Pittsburgh Magazine. Sax, I don't know if you have anything to add. I know you're very.
Oh, my good friend, the Pittsburgh International Airport, who invited me to a behind-the-scenes tour of the new terminal, and I couldn't make it because I was in Charleston. But if I get invited again, I'm gonna get you guys to go too. We'll make
please,
absolutely, because So I read that article, and she basically gave threw a bucket of cold water on people just being like, look, this isn't going to be a hub. We got to scrap the hub idea. Yeah. Because there's, 3-4 major airlines in the United States, and their hubs are very well determined. Charlotte. It's Minneapolis, Detroit, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, blah, 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 Boston, whatever. And, there was a window of time we had a little U.S. Air action, and then that thing folded, and your dad's points went out the window. And she's just like, it's not going to happen. So let's readjust. Let's rethink this. And it's exciting. I mean, the Pittsburgh, you could see, there's so many things. I could talk about the Pittsburgh Airport all day long, but if you could see a lot of the Pittsburgh Airport is between 4:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. It's very early in the morning, because what planes do is they'll park overnight in Pittsburgh, and then they'll run a quick little route to a hub, early in the morning, and then they'll just start their day from there. They'll go from Pittsburgh to Detroit, and then that plane will go and do other things. So you can get to a hub pretty easily from the Pittsburgh Airport. I don't know. I love the Pittsburgh Airport. I think, as Scott said, it's the traffic isn't to the point where you're ever taxiing longer than, 7, 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's quick to get in and out. And they're going to fix the issue with the lines that were always happening because they're the new arrival terminal. So I don't know. It's excellent. And hopefully we get that tour and you guys will come with me.
Yeah, Christina, if you're listening to this, because I know you're a big fan of the Saxcast, every CEO in America is, invite us out.
And Mongolia.
And Mongolia, for sure. Especially the CEO of IKEA in Mongolia is a big listener. But real quick before we move on, Pittsburgher of the Year. Who was the Pittsburgher of the Year in 2023, guys?
Wait. Fitzgerald.
Andrew McCutcheon.
Rich Fitzgerald.
Bingo. Andrew McCutcheon, baby.
Because he came back.
Andrew McCutcheon. On that note.
Oh, wow.
It is my time to introduce the best portion of the show. My favorite portion of the show. Something we like to call the Mongolian Minute. Sax, what do we got in store today?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody I just first I want to say thank you to you guys for I don't even
Aw.
know what it is about your reactions. I mean,
We're dumb. We're dumb.
people
Yeah,
are
that's
laughing
it.
at you. I mean, yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of like, but you're obviously intelligent guys. You're
Sure.
you're learned men. But when it comes to Mongolia, you'll think a coffee shop is a movie theater,
Oh,
and
God, dude.
and you'll think so. It works out fantastically for content. And now people are loving it so much. They are watching in droves. We have like almost like 300 views of this on YouTube of the last episode of you guys basically not knowing, just trying to understand Mongolia, and people are sending us pictures.
Oh yeah.
So can you do the image with the yellow sign first? So we're gonna play a game here, gentlemen. It's called What is this Mongolian restaurant called? Here's the parameters. It's a one-word American name
Okay.
that starts with the letter P.
Okay.
So this is a Mongolian restaurant. It's one word, and it starts with the letter P. What is this Mongolian restaurant called?
I'm raising my hand. Can I go first?
Scott, go ahead. Walk us through it.
I don't know. My eyesight is really bad, but I'm going to say pancake because I can see in the top right corner pancakes, or at least what I can see from my eyesight. They look like pancakes.
So it's just called, okay. Yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me.
I'm
right.
gonna go poopies.
Do you not want to look?
Grow up,
Be
man.
embarrassed
Grow up.
anymore.
Grow up.
I've learned in these segments I have to go at one complete opposite end of the spectrum. Okay.
That's actually a pretty good guess. Yeah, pretty good strategy.
So you know what? It starts with a P. It's absurd. Poopies. Maybe something is lost in translation here, just like destroy in one of our last episodes. So poopies. Final answer. Psycho. I wasn't that far off. See, I wasn't that far.
Adam is legitimately
Hey, let's go get a
becoming
burger
Mongolian.
at Psycho.
He's becoming Mongolian.
Yes. I was
Poopies.
kind of close.
You're gonna just get more absurd and more absurd. All right. Can you go to the one with the M on it? Let's play another round of what Mongolian business is this? This is their logo. Obviously,
Already
it's
know.
written in Cyrillic and Mongolian, so you can't understand with it. But what do you think this is?
I already know.
Scott.
All right, so I see two M's there, and I see a cross. I'm going to say Mongolian Memorial Hospital.
That's a great guess, Scott. I like that. The cross is throwing me off.
Or it could be
Maybe-
a cult. I don't know. It looks like a cult symbol.
I'm gonna go. If you're on,
Are we recording? Okay,
Yeah.
thank God. Go to the video.
Oh my God. This is the Mongolian ministry.
Okay, so Scott's more or less right, but that is not the whole point of this. Do you guys recognize that symbol right there?
No.
No.
This is basically the health industry. This happens a lot in Asia, and look what they took it from. This health center. Look what they took it from.
Maybach?
No way. No way. Wait, what is this logo for?
It's really it's like for like a hospital, but they made the logo out of the Maybach.
That's amazing. That's
If I'm going to any hospital, I want it to be.
They
the
would have
Maybach
like, yeah,
one.
they would have like show you like, it's like high class or whatever.
That's awesome. That's
Oh.
awesome.
That's just the stuff that happens. Real quick, can you go to the shelf with all the figurines on it? So guys, this is why I love the internet, okay?
Yep.
This is why we get hooked up with people like Scott, the people I put the Instagrams and the people that wanted to show us those images. But this is a listener to us in Mongolia's shelf.
Really?
Yeah.
I see Willie Stargell, McCutcheon.
It's a listener that found us through the algorithm that is in Mongolia and is a giant Pittsburgh sports fan.
Oh, that is awesome.
Isn't that a pinch me moment, boys?
That's amazing.
I love this. I'll tell you what, if we can make it happen, I don't know the logistics here, but if we can make it happen, I will send you some Bucko banter gear.
Dude,
Yeah.
the man.
If possible, yeah.
How awesome is the internet? Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And he doesn't want to come on the pod, but he's sending me a bunch of information and stuff for future episodes, and he wants to contribute that way.
Nice.
But I don't want to give his name or whatever, but that how great is that? How great is the world? And
That's
then look
amazing.
At his collection. He's got Andrew McCutcheon figurines, Willie Stargell. I love that. I just love that baseball with the Pirates, like the red, like I don't know. That's just like very much like our era of Pirates.
Yeah, like I said, if you're listening, hit up the Bucko banter Instagram page, shoot us a DM, and we'll try and get you something out there, and hopefully we can contribute to this collection because that is absolutely awesome.
And then we got 2 more, guys. Yeah, that's just the coolest thing on planet Earth. So thank you so much for listening. 2 more quick ones, boys. If you could go to the darker image, please. Gentlemen, the game is called What is This Mongolian Business? Talk it out. What do we see here?
Like
okay,
club.
so this looks like where Venom lives.
I'm gonna say a club.
Yeah, I was gonna say some type of strip club, maybe. Does it say I'm here?
Yes.
Oh
Do you guys know what that graphic is?
no.
Oh, you guys are sports guys. That's the Alienware computers.
Is this their headquarters? I don't like. What are we talking about here? It's
a nightclub. I'll just spoil it. It's a
okay. Scott's
but again,
killing it.
0 F's given about copyright, and it's just Alienware computers, which is like the OG like gaming computer.
Hell
That's
yeah, dude.
awesome.
Mongolians.
And then that's the guy who sent it in the Diddy. And then we have one more. Gentlemen, what Mongolian business is this? Didi. The Diddy business. Didi.
Is it baby oil?
DD. Get out to my laboratory.
Not far off with the baby oil.
Oh, okay.
Not far off with the baby oil. This is something to do with whales. I think there's a whale up there. Maybe, I don't know. That could be. I could look like an idiot on this.
I can't really see that well, but
they're selling lard. This is a lard factory.
This is some kind of store. It's a
you don't say.
Good guess, Scott.
You don't say the business is a store.
This is a I don't even know. Like a you said I was close to baby oil, which is kind of tripping me up.
Maybe one of the words.
Oil? This is somewhere.
Oh,
they extract oil from whales and then they sell it at the store.
This is like a car parts store or something like that.
Maybe oil changes.
Oil change. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's like an advanced auto parts.
So Diddy, it's an oil change, advanced auto parts. Got it.
Oh,
car wash.
Scott's killing it today.
No, it's a car wash.
Oh,
right. What the hell? I'm not killing it.
Right. That's what we got from Mongolia Corner. Again, thank you everybody so much for sending us pictures in. We have even more on like layaway, and thank you so much.
Yeah, this was
fun episode,
awesome.
Guys.
Yeah, this is a real fun one. If you don't already, what are you doing? Go over to YouTube right now. Subscribe at Saxboy Billy 18. Episodes weekly. Sax is chopping up the clips here, so go over to Instagram and follow us at the Saxcast, on all social media at the Saxcast, and send us some photos from around the world. It doesn't have to be just Mongolia. Obviously, I love guessing Mongolian things, but if you got something funky in your partitan, as we like to say in Pittsburgh. Send it our way. Maybe Scott and I will guess it right. Probably not, but it will be funny. So, boys, great episode. Ty was awesome. Big shout out to him again for hopping on. Hopefully we have more conversations with him. Go check him out. We'll throw his Instagram handle in our description. And until next time, boys, I'll see you.
See you later.